Hey everybody, I'm Doug Connor here. Plastic Pops. Excited to have our interview with local author RIVA FRYE. She's coming up right next. Just want to give a quick shout out to those that followed us in our previous show. If you're a resident of Pulaski County and you're going to vote in this forthcoming election, and invite you to view that video. It's the second in a series I'm doing, trying to invite all the local candidates to come on the show and talk a little bit about politics, everybody's favorite talk. And I had a great interview. There's my cat. You can't see her, my producer. She just loves laying on my keyboard. I mean, loves it. But, well, she gets a little applause. Maybe you can hear it, maybe you can't. There she goes. She gets her own applause. So, well, she's just moody today. So we're going to have Riva call in a little bit. Now, quick disclaimer, and it's in my disclaimer notes, terms of service, whatever have you. That is, I am no journalist by any stretch of the term. You are watching this program simply out of curiosity, and that being for entertainment purpose and informational purposes only. So hopefully it'll be a clean show. It has been had to use filters in the past, but I don't think we'll have that problem now. Politicians get upset. No. Sorry, folks. My aggressive producer lady has decided to do her job today incorrectly. So without further ado, I'm going to bring Riva on here. So give me a second to change screens here. Riva, can you hear me? Can you see me?
I can see you and I can hear you.
Excellent. Technology did not fail me. Well, I'm so happy to have you on the show today. I think everybody else here is too. And what I'd like to do is give you about 2 seconds, 5 seconds, 10 minutes, or an hour. It's up to you to go introduce yourself to the viewers at large and tell them a little bit about yourself, your background. And we'll go over some questions I prepared that will put you on the hot seat and make you regret you ever come on the show. So go ahead, take a
Okay,
few
thank
minutes.
you. Well, my name is Riva. I am the author of If Love Could Kill. It should be coming out January 25th. This is release. I'm a mother of two. I have a 1-year-old little girl and I have a 3-year-old little boy.
Awesome.
So my hands are full half the time.
Oh, I can imagine that. I read from your bio you're a veteran as well.
I am.
Who'd you serve with, if you don't mind sharing? We got Fort Leonard Wood. We're full of vets.
So I was with the 173rd Airborne Division in Vicenza, and I was also with 10th Group, and that is in Colorado, Fort Carson.
Well, thank you so much for your service. Without you, we couldn't be here and have this conversation, free speech, without having some minders in the background that we couldn't see. So thank you
Oh,
for your service. So I'm going to ask you a couple questions, and we'll get right to it, and we'll open it up to the floor. We got some viewers. I think we're looking at 4 viewers that I can see. But the
okay.
first question that I have is, can you provide an overview of your new book and share what inspired you to write it? Because I've tried to write books in the past, or at least tried to start, and I can't get past page 1 or 2.
Um, so without giving away any spoilers, so basically what the book is about this woman. She had just gone through a divorce. Her and her son moved to North Carolina from Chicago. She meets a man who had just tragically lost his wife and his stepson in an accident 2 years prior to them being there. He is currently caring for his 13-year-old daughter named Gracie. So they end up bonding over their trauma and end up kind of hitting it off. But there is someone or something in the background that's keeping them from
Mm-hmm.
being together. And so a bunch of secrets is going to unfold throughout the book. It's a thriller, so it's going to keep you on your toes throughout the whole entire book.
Outstanding. So how did the process for you? How did it come to be? My cat is going to be the death of me. How did the idea for this book come to you, and how did it evolve any or change any from what you first expected when you first put pen to paper?
So when you write, I definitely had a different vision for the book, but as you write, it seems like your characters come to life and they kind of plot their own way and kind of go off course of what you initially wrote for them.
Mm-hmm.
So that, yeah, it definitely was not supposed to be a thriller, but that's just kind of how it ended up. Um, that's just kind of how it fit.
Oh, sure. I mean, I can see myself if I was to have to write a book, I'd have to have a 30-foot clean white wall and start with the timeline. And just like the sheriff department, you're writing the line, these character development, stuff like that. Next thing you know, you're filling the
Yep.
whole house with script. So that's very interesting. Very interesting. Because like I said, I've never done it. As a new author, now, is this your first book? I should ask.
This is my first book, so it's super exciting for me to be able to publish this and for readers to actually get to read and kind of get to know my work.
And I seen that I've been out there. I meant to pull it up, and I may pull it up here in a second. The Amazon and Barnes and Noble both have the book. And are they when's it become available?
January 25th is its release date.
Okay, make sure you share it on our Facebook page and on yours, and we'll make sure we share it because I'd sure like to read it. Now, as a new author, what challenges did you face while writing? Because I can imagine you just didn't write it every 5 minutes. You had a few minutes. You probably had to dedicate some pretty significant time. Did you?
I did, especially with having two younger ones. I definitely had to stay up most nights writing after they went to bed. That was probably the most challenging part for me, was just making that time to actually sit down and write um, throughout the day,
Mm-hmm.
and also kind of just finding out where the plot was going to end up and trying to make the story come to life.
That part had to be exciting once it started to come into life right in front of you.
Mhm.
Yeah, I kind of imagine it would because you see kind of some fruition. Now, did you draw some inspiration from any specific authors or books, or while you were working on your own, or did you? Was it completely like a blank slate and you just went from zero to everything?
So actually, I had read a book by Colleen Hoover on Verity, and that kind of inspired me to write this thriller. I've been wanting to write a thriller for a long time,
Uh huh.
but I think that was just kind of the push that I needed
Okay.
after reading that book.
And was it more in the character development storyline, or how do you think it influenced your writing the most?
So I think the plot twist at the end is kind of what inspired me to write
Mm-hmm.
my book, because my book also has a huge plot twist that you really don't see coming
Uh
throughout the
huh.
book. So that's definitely what inspired that part, was Verity.
I remember the movie Misery. I'm a big Stephen King fan. Have you seen the book or a movie Misery?
Yes, I
Yeah,
love Stephen King.
Stephen King. I can still just imagine somebody seeing that plot twist and just going, "Oh, that's not what I expected. It's not supposed to happen that
That's
way.
not what I wanted.
That's not what I wanted to happen." But that's the kind of books that really keep you engaged, and you lose hours of
Mhm.
sleep, and you call in sick over it because you spend the whole night reading. It's oh man, I don't know.
Exactly, and you lose time, and you just want to know what happens next in the next chapter. That's exactly what I was going for my book.
Now envision a reader like me or anybody else get your book and they put it down. And what do you hope they will take away from the book as far as entertainment or deeper reflections or uh, anything like that?
Honestly, I just kind of hope they find enjoyment reading it. I hope that it's the kind of book that you don't want to put down,
Mm-hmm.
um, that you just don't want to stop reading until you're finished till the end.
Now, having not talked about the book much without giving anything away, is it part of a series? Is it going to be a completely standalone book with nothing to follow as far as characters and stuff like that?
No, I don't think there's going to be a series to this one. This is kind of plotted pretty tightly.
Mm-hmm.
But I am currently working on a children's book and another chapter book,
Oh,
adult
wonderful.
fiction.
You definitely need to come back and talk to us about those when you get a chance. So, talking about character development, were there any specific characters in your book? You could probably just do names, and when the readers and the viewers pick up your book, they'll connect the dots. But did you have a particularly great time developing and creating?
Um, I would say the main character, Gwen.
Okay.
I definitely enjoyed her character because she becomes this vulnerable, scared single mom, and then she ends up finding her own voice and finding a second chance at the second life that she's trying to make for herself and her son.
I got a personal question. Do you know a Destiny Alexis?
I do.
Okay, she says, "Woohoo! Look at this awesome author. Thank you for listening and watching Destiny." So you're right. We're looking forward to that book. Let's see what else I got for you. We already talked the plot turns. I'm not going to let you give that away. I don't want to trick you into giving it away. Now we talked about your writing process and rituals. Were they with the kids almost all at night? The husband take the kids and go away, or give you some special?
Um,
I mean, I can see it like what was that Johnny Depp movie where he's sitting looking at the window, but you had this time set away and nobody could touch him from 2 to 4 or whatever it was.
my husband has definitely been a huge help through this process. He takes the kids when I need a break. But he's also in the military himself,
Mm-hmm.
so he works all day and he's currently in school. So it's as when he comes home, it's just kind of like he takes the kids whenever I need a break, or he'll put them to bed so I can start writing. So he's definitely been a huge help and a big support through all of
That's
this.
awesome. That's good to hear. Now, uh, I've seen so many movies. I'm a movie aficionado, and I store all this useless. Oops, sorry, useless data up in my head. But when you're writing, and when you were writing, was it pen and paper, or pencil and paper, or all typing?
For me, it was all typing.
Okay.
I typed everything up, usually on Word, and I would just write down all my ideas, even if
Mm-hmm.
it didn't make sense, and pick out what would fit and what wouldn't fit.
Okay. Because I could see that becoming just different documents. So you got the chapters, of course, but then you'd almost have to have your notes on the side of this character development. I mean, do you sometimes get lost in the story yourself, that where you, uh, I need to go back to what I wrote before because this has something that's developed or anything like that. Plot twist that you didn't know were coming available.
Yeah, so there was a lot of changes as I was writing. Um, I would take a different turn of what I initially wanted, so then I would have to kind of go back and change a few things in the chapter to make
Mm-hmm.
it sound correctly to what I wanted now from what I originally envisioned for it.
See, that's where I was thinking about that big 40-foot white wall. I'd have to make sure every
Hmm.
dot was connected. Otherwise, you'd have like Tom Bombadil in The Lord of the Rings to say he stopped in book one. And if you go on any Lord of the Rings trivia, everybody asks, who the heck is Tom Bombadil? What more and more and more. And he is just what he is. And that's where I'd have to connect that dot. I like the dots to connect, but,
Yeah, so it was definitely I definitely had to go back and reread everything multiple times. So I kind of got tired of my own story
now,
after a while.
who's this published through?
So this is published through myself.
Okay.
My distributor is through Ingram Spark,
Okay.
and it's also through Amazon and Barnes and Noble. It should be in the Barnes and Noble store physically in a few weeks.
So I got some questions here. So your fan base is already developing. Tammy Peterson Lewis says, cannot wait for this to come out. Scott Boyd, don't know if you know him, doesn't matter. What was your biggest motivation writing this book?
My biggest motivation was myself, to be honest. I really just wanted, after the army, I really just needed to find something for myself, and
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what I wanted to do with the rest of my life, and writing just kind of pushed that way through. Um, so now I kind of know what I want. So myself, that was a big motivation.
Now, have you ever seen the movie Funny Farm?
No, I have not.
Okay, that's Chevy Chase. That's an old one. That's a little gray hair in me. But you'll have to watch that sometime. It's about the husband. They retired to the country, and he's going to write a book, and it just doesn't turn out that way. And it's very comedic and very funny. But that says with Chevy Chase, Funny Farm, and worth watching. I think you'd be able to relate, especially if your husband was a writer, supposedly. But check it out sometime. Let's see who we got. Richard Osnick, buddy of mine. He's up in Alaska, so hey, you're getting some usage out of this video here. Rich asked, how hard was it to get published, and some of the processes for the average person?
To get published, so there's self-published and there's traditionally published. So self-published is when you publish yourself. I'm currently going through also a traditional publish, so that's
Mm-hmm.
when you have to write to agents. You give them a sample of your book, and they review it, and they see whether they want to take you as a client, whether they don't want to take you as a client. It's just a lot of back and forth emailing through a lot of people and companies.
So your fan base stretches from Alaska to Fort Leonard Wood to spewing from Germany, Scott Boyd. So you're getting some traction off this little interview. So come to Fort. How long you been here locally to Fort Leonard Wood?
We've been at Fort Leonard for about a year and a half.
Okay.
We should be moving again to Fort Bragg in April.
Okay. Any thoughts on doing a slash on quote unquote publicity tour with the local libraries and stuff like that?
So I actually have two book signings coming up in February. One
Okay.
at the local Jack and Pewter coffee shop in
Okay.
Winsville, and also at the Midway Coffee Shop.
I knew that. Was it the Midway? Was right there on the interstate?
Yes.
I I don't get it. I'm sorry. They had a whole Facebook page. Everybody's doing their Midway 31 or whatever it was. I don't get it.
Yeah, it's
My
definitely a
physical,
popular spot
my,
for, especially for post.
my physical therapist goes there. That's how she met her boyfriend. I said, I don't understand it. I make great coffee upstairs, but okay, I'm going to have to try it sometime.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I love Midway. I actually just had Jack and Pewter coffee today, so
I had to slow down. I was up to like 4 cups of 16-ounce coffee every day, and I couldn't figure out why I
oh
couldn't.
wow.
Yeah, I like the zing, and I can't type anymore, so I don't need it like I used to. I could used to 80 words a minute. So, oh, another question, Mr. Germany, Scott Boyd. How long did it take you to write the book?
It took me about year and a half
Mm-hmm.
to fully write the book and publish.
Awesome, awesome. I mean, kudos to your husband taking the kids. And we were over in Germany. We had 4 kids, and nothing would have got
Yeah, it's
done
definitely
without my
hard with
wife being
kids,
able to do it.
especially when they're that little.
Oh yeah, it was great being over there, but the kids made it fun. But I couldn't imagine trying to write a book and serving at the same time. That's awesome. So who else in the crowd? Anybody else in the crowd have some questions? We have to post them on Facebook because she's using my dial-in only line. We couldn't get our audio to work, so otherwise I'll let you dial in. And nobody else? You got anything else you'd like to tell the viewers? Because this is going to be posted to my Facebook page and my YouTube, and you'll be able to share it to the world. Give me as much likes as you can. Thank you very much.
Um, no, I'm pretty good. I just hope whoever reads it, and you can pre-order it right now. So when January 25th comes along, it'll automatically be sent to you. I just hope you like it,
Oh,
and I
sure.
hope you enjoy reading it as much as I enjoyed writing it.
Has anybody read it yet?
Yeah.
Positive reviews?
So far, I've had 4 to 5 star reviews.
Really? That's awesome. Let's see if we got another one. What author was your biggest inspiration? I don't know if you answered that. You may have, but go ahead.
Um, so what inspired me for this book was the book Verity by Colleen Hoover. So
Okay.
that was my biggest inspiration for this book.
Will there be hard copies available to order?
There will be hard copies available. There's also paperback copies, and there's also Kindle version copies
What about
available for
Audible?
free.
Are you doing your own Audible?
No, I'm not doing Audible.
I always thought you see those ads popping up on Facebook and YouTube about how you can record your voice. I don't think I could stand to listen to myself for that long.
No, I can't even stand myself when I record myself on my phone, so I don't think there'll be Audible.
So let's see here. 10-star review. I don't think 10 stars are allowed. Just make sure you like and follow this Facebook page. Thank you very much, Destiny. 10's too much. You can give her 5. That's it. So any other questions for Riva? It is Riva, right?
Yes,
Okay.
you're saying it correctly.
Will you do signed copies? Go ahead and say that when you're going to do that.
So I will do signed copies at Drac Computer on the 3rd, February 3rd, from 10:30 to 11. And on the 17th at midday, we still haven't come up with a time yet, but that will be when I will be signing copies.
Awesome. Make sure you share it to our page so all the viewers at home that didn't watch it right now will be able to know, get a chance to meet you and read this awesome sounding book. I would definitely be looking to pick me up a copy when it does come widely available. So, anybody else got any questions for our guest? We're going to give you 5 seconds. Anything else you want to talk about, Riva?
No, that's about it. I mean, unless anybody else has any questions, I'm pretty set.
Well, with that, we're going to go ahead and close. And Riva, I want to thank you so much and for joining us today. This is a twofer. We had an interview with a local candidate for sheriff just before we logged on to your stream or your show. So it's been a busy day, but you definitely made it entertaining and wonderful to talk about your book. And I wish you the best of luck.
Well, thank you very much, and thank you for having me.
Well, you're very welcome. And everybody, make sure you take something home with you, including a check. Follow our Facebook page. With the more follows we get and subscribers, or not that, whatever the Facebook is, the chance I can do some more tools and spread some knowledge around the counties for everybody's use. So thank you so much. I'm going to transition here and let everybody go home and everybody be safe. Got some snow coming. Rich, everybody that was following, thanks so much for following and being regular follows. And we'll see everybody later. Riva, thank you so much. Wonderful to meet you. And when the children's books come out and wherever you are, make sure you get us a chance to get you online and talk about it.
All right, thank you very much.